Alright, I am back. We are ready to kick off. Oh. I'll get a roll. Whatever that is. Oh, turns out that my button is also my super mega fuck off run button. So auto run. Totem. Takes me a second to get it right. Of them. Yeah. Alrighty.
You must be the Padawan who slaughters my people. Your misguided attacks change nothing. Your time is over.
My master is invading your command base right now. It's over, Bengal.
He won't find what he's looking for. I'm not there. You executed my apprentice, Caliph.
Wild.
I can feel his death on you. I spent years training him.
Okay, so...
He was a good man, a principled man. Proud of yourself?
That's weird. I'm going to switch audio. Yeah, I'm going to switch over to this audio device. It works better. Even though I can't mute it, which is silly.
I didn't want to kill the man, but he left me no choice.
There's always a choice. You should have surrendered to the inevitable. Every so-called Jedi on Tython is going to die. That's a promise. Your entire order is weak. You've done nothing to stop the Sith Empire's advances.
Guess I missed the news about you winning the war.
I can't defeat the Sith until the Jedi are strong again. You people diminish the Force by your very existence. Enjoy this little victory. It's your last.
There isn't a, like, side quest or anything in here, so I'm just gonna go.
Jedi? Oh, thank the matriarch.
Jedi talk. Jedi peace.
He wants to speak to you. He's too weak to fight.
Jedi peace.
He needed someone to help him communicate. That's why he took me away. Why he's letting us meet. I've been trying to teach him your language.
Do you need medical attention?
I'm cut and bruised, that's all.
Head thing talk! Head thing talk! Learn power!
I'm trying, Please, I'm trying. He thinks he has power. He thinks he can use the Force, and he wants Jedi to train him.
Tell him we can talk about it after you're safe.
Talk power. Talk rock then.
Please listen. He's calm now. He'll be calm if we talk. The other Flesh Raiders serve him because they fear his curse. But the Force overwhelms him. He needs to learn from the Jedi to control the power. He's weak.
Does he even understand what he's asking? What Jedi training involves?
I'm not sure. He thinks the Jedi are hunters.
Take power. Hunt power. Go rock then. Head thing flesh.
He won't let me go unless you help him get into the Jedi Temple. You can do that, right? Get the Jedi Masters to train him?
For the memes.
I'll go to the temple and see what I can do.
Rock den power. Go rock den. Go tree den.
We can meet you outside the Flesh Raiders' den. We'll make camp along the path and watch for you. But be careful.
So, I've got to... Yeah. Okay, then. General... Gravel... Yeeticus... Back. Yes. Oh. Stretch.
I've studied the Flesh Raiders' idols. Here are my notes.
Pawiror maglaresese. Purmatuto gisafin grudo simnya supa. Ek farkak sara furflastu. Grania mimi vravni hev vikom libi arinju. Hev skam pimio helka tutwerk. Hever zegna ek jo opflo kompa.
Alrighty.
Stand by for examination and suggested product.
Oh, okay. That's useful, I guess. Somebody.
You are fit for duty. Return to your post.
Oh, hello. You must be one of the Jedi. My name is Balea. How do you do? I don't mean to be rude, but I'd rather not talk for long. My daughter is very sick, and I'm all she has since my husband died. I found a holo recording on your husband's body. He said these Manka cat teeth would help your daughter. You brought these for my daughter? Oh,
Plot
this is
twist.
what the doctor needs.
They
to
turn
make
her
medicine.
into a Minka cat.
I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. It was the least I could do. You should be rewarded for this. Yes, wait, I know. Yes, you should have this. It was my husband's. It served him well, and now that you have saved my daughter's life, I hope it serves you well also. Thank you so much. I've got to tell the doctor right away so that he can make Russa's medicine.
Yes. All right.
I shut down the energy shield. Any word on Master Orgus's mission? No. My mother, she found peace during your absence.
Oh, that's good for her.
I am now matriarch.
That's less good.
You don't have to go through this alone. You and your master are a great comfort to me.
I pressed the button.
Before he left, Master Orgus told me, there is no death. There is the Force. He believes our essence lives on when we die, and merges with the Force. I hope that's true.
Matriarch, Flesh Raiders broke through our defenses. They did something to our crop fields. They dropped strange machines in the soil. When a scout approached one, he collapsed with sickness. He crawled away from the device and began to recover, but there are many more machines still out there.
Tell your people to stay away from the fields. I'll get rid of these things. Be careful. If the machines are too powerful, save yourself. Hurry to the fields. I fear we don't have much time.
That one is a lot more powerful than I remember it being. Ooh, there's something purple over there. Fascinating. I think that's a companion gift or something. Yeetith. Jedi. Mr. Rhinos. Oh, yeah. I really need to do words. I do need to go through and do some of the unlocks and stuff.
I've destroyed the machines poisoning your crops. I saw how you suffered out there. What you did was more than brave. It was heroic. Since you came here, all you've done is risk your life to save us.
Yes.
My mother was strong, like you. It's hard being alone with all this. You're stronger than you know. You can do anything you set your mind to. You make me feel like I can take on the whole galaxy. I've heard it said, friends are the family we choose for ourselves. My mother was all the family I had left, until you came.
Been here for like
That's
a day.
strange, isn't it? I've only known you a little while, but it's like you're the sister I've always wanted. Glad I'm not the only one who feels that connection. It's an incredible gift to have someone who's always there for you, no matter what. My people have an old ritual for friends to become family. Would you perform it with me? Become my sister?
Sure, why not?
Having a sister like you would be wonderful.
Oh no!
Then come, sit.
I'm going
Let's
to
take
fall
the
to
oaths
the
of
dark
family
side.
together.
I have friends. Ah!
We're sisters now. Our bond is forever. Always together. Never alone. I'll always be there for you, Rana. No matter what.
I'm never
Here,
going to see
take
her
this.
again.
Whenever we're apart, I'll still be with you. My people are probably looking for me. I'll see you again soon. I hope.
It's a belt that I'm probably going to sell eventually. It's a nice looking belt though, I guess.
Finally put the Flesh Raider base out of commission. How are things on your end?
I disobeyed the Jedi Code.
I spoke to your old Padawan over the Hollow. He's doing all this so he can destroy the Sith.
And it's not Sith himself. Good. If I can get to him, reason with him.
At the Flesh Raider command base, I found coordinates to a number of secret camps. Too many to send only Jedi Masters. One camp is in the ruins of Upper Kaleth. That patrol you fought earlier was based there. Now's your chance to finish them off.
What if I run into your old Padawan?
If you see Bengal, retreat and contact me immediately.
Ah, yes.
Be careful
So
in those
slaughter
ruins.
him. Where
You
he's
haven't
standing.
explored them all. Contact me when your mission's
Been here
complete.
for like 500
May the
years.
Force be with you.
Also, I like how the robes you get for being here are basically just Bengal Morse clothes. I mean, they're good looking, so I ain't complaining. I just think it's kind of funny. And it's like, and now you get to play dress up and dress up like your master. Excuse me. Good.
Reminder, mechanized travel is for official business only.
Have a nice stay. Wait, that's somewhere else. Alright. I'm going to Ruins of Kaleth, so I'll go here, and then plop, plop, plop. I think yes? Maybe. Oh, look, and there's a whole other... Oh, that's the same guy that I've been dealing with for almost every episode. I think I have talked to this guy at least once per episode.
You made it look easy last time.
I did,
But we've
'cause it
thrown some
was.
surprises in there for you this time. Get out
Anybody
there
can
and show them what you're made of.
make things look easy when they are, in fact, the simplest shit in the world. That's how that works. Though technically I wouldn't be making it look easy, because it would just already be easy. So I'd be showing it to be easy. Displaying it to be easy. Taking it easy. As it were. Ah, yes, the modifications. Let's do weak mobs, but more of them.
Another impressive round. Looks like we'll have to make things tougher next time.
Ah, yes. And I already have that unlocked. And I'm
Your
already
last
level
round with the droids was impressive, but we've made modifications to their behavior that should make for a real challenge.
Good, because he's the one
Get
who
out
can
there
fix
and show them what you're
challenges.
made of.
Go on, kid. Show them what you're made of. Yes. Again, I'm feeling cyberpunk again. It may end up on my solid state at some point in the near future. And that'll be fun. I'm going to mod the crap out of it though. Last time I played vanilla, and it was fine. I like vanilla cyberpunk. But maybe, just maybe, I need more mods, because mods are fun. Or I may wait a couple more months, because it's been pretty recent that I played it. Because I played it when Phantom Liberty came out.
Unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. But I've still got a few more tricks. Check back later.
Are you sure? Because I feel like that was about all you had, unless you've got like a war droid tucked away somewhere. Like a basilisk.
Forgive me, young Jedi, but I do not have time to give lessons these days. My only concern
You're
is
gonna love
administering
this.
to the Order's new recruits. If you are here on an unrelated matter, I fear I have no help to offer.
I'm here on business, Master. I found a flesh raider who wants to be a Jedi.
A flesh raider? You're serious? My understanding is that those creatures are primitive, cruel, and bloodthirsty. Not ideally prepared for the lifestyle of a Jedi.
If we want to change their ways, we have to start somewhere.
I am reluctant to accept candidates purely to effect wider change, but I hear what you say, and I would know your thoughts. Even assuming this recruit is strong in the Force, do you really think such a dangerous student could be taught?
If he stays untrained, he'll go to the dark side.
Perhaps you're right. Very well. Send your recruit to the temple, give him this medallion, and the Watchman will know to grant him passage. When he arrives, I will consult with the Jedi Council. We will do what we can.
Bloop. Hold on. Phew. Like, yeah, sure, I can use a mount, but
Greetings.
I can
You
also
are cleared
just
for the following travel routes.
go here. Arian Trail. I am gonna grab my Tauntaun. Oh, that's exciting. I'll just grab this one. Even though I'm more of a Tauntaun guy. You really can't go wrong with a rapid recon walker. I feel like... Is there a way to shoot with this? I feel like there was. Like, it doesn't actually do any good, but, like... It's there. Okay, yeah. Oh, Cherry. Oh, I recommend it. Mira, howdy, welcome to the stream. It's fun if you like, especially if you like MMOs. Like, kind of has a bit of a World of Warcraft, but with Star Wars feel.
Jedi, you came.
Jedi talk.
It is
Learn power.
a little bit
What
more
happened at the
fully
temple?
voiced, though, which is
What did
nice.
the masters say? Tell him.
Jedi talk.
You're in. And the Jedi Council is in for quite a surprise.
You hear that? You get what you wanted. Hunt power,
Oh, you know,
Jedi power,
just vibing,
the
figuring
rock
stream
den,
for a little
all
while.
of it.
Got some other
Then
stuff I gotta
Jedi
do,
hunt.
but
Hunter then,
busy
Jedi
couple
hunt.
of days. You know.
Hunt rock then.
He means you can hunt everything that belonged to him. The other flesh raiders, me, and he's leaving.
Jedi prize. Jedi hunt.
This is not
I
going
didn't think
to
you
go
would
well,
do
is
that.
it?
You helped him. You saved me. I know my way back to the village. The path isn't too hard from here.
But yeah, no, I like it, and it's free to play, which is always a plus. And let's see, bury my nose in my map for a second. I'm blind as shit and can't see anything. There we go. Sounds good. Well, I'll probably go about until I've finished out the planet that I'm currently on, Tython, which is the starting world. Yeah, it's really hard to beat free, and it's, don't get me wrong, like a lot of free to play games, it definitely has some less than awesome limitations that come with it, but I am subscribed, so I don't even really notice it anymore. But it's nowhere near as restrictive as, say, like, I don't know if you ever played EVE Online. EVE has some really weird, arbitrary limitations. And some other games do too. But you don't have to, it's definitely not pay to win, which is nice. You don't, like, you're not going to get ahead, really, by spending money. I think most of the stuff is going to be just, like, convenience and cosmetics. I'm just gonna go ahead and fight this guy. Let's go. Let's see. There you go. And it's, you know, I don't know how familiar you are with Star Wars, but it's definitely more like 300 years after, like, Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, so a little after Revan, but before people like Bane. So you can play Sith, you can play Jedi, you don't necessarily have to be dark side or light side. So it's very player choice driven in that regard. And there are 8 really good storylines, so every class has its own totally independent storyline. That just kind of goes through the same set of planets through different perspectives.
Master Orgus sent me to drive back the Flesh Raiders.
Estavolab megmindig uge, oze disazos, homaleban, merega mosdu, latlan felet gegob es elenga agiob.
Then I'll meet their hatred with my own, and kill every
That's not what I meant to
one.
say. And there is the problem. It's a BioWare problem in general. Sometimes you pick a dialogue option that says, "Oh,
Is as Allah soni parton as Allah
it's a good way. If you want a couple of older games that are very good, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, or just KOTOR and KOTOR 2, are really, really good games, and I highly recommend them. They are very old. Their age shows in a lot of ways. They came out when I was in probably my freshman or sophomore year of high school. So they are not new. But they're really solid. They're another way I would recommend getting into the sort of world of Star Wars, especially the older lore. And you can find a lot of fun stuff to do. I know a few people, this is most of their interaction with Star Wars at this point. And heck, for me, honestly, Star Wars gaming did more to get me into the universe and invested in the universe than the movies. And I like the movies. I like the series that come out. You know, they're all quite good. But gaming is the way it goes. But yeah, what you saw a second ago is something that is it's kind of just a thing that happens in BioWare games like this and Mass Effect, is you'll select a dialogue option thinking you're going to say something, and you say something totally different. Now, if I had it turned on to where it showed what kind of alignment I was going to get, it probably could be a better idea of like, oh, that's going to be a dark side way to say
The
that.
Flesh Raider camp's out of commission, Master.
Typically what I
but they
brought
were
up
all
about him
Force
is the
users.
sort of meaner
They killed
way
a
to say
Jedi
something.
named Lauta. His body is in these ruins. What should I do?
We'll reclaim our fallen later. Just got a distress call from the Twi'lek settlement. They spotted Ben Gulmur. Our forces are spread out dealing with the secret camps. We're the only ones who can handle this. I'm on my way to the settlement. Meet me there.
Like, there's actually another really good example of it in another storyline I won't spoil, but you'll see 3 options, and one of the options is like, you're dealing with like a battle. And one of the options is pretty straightforward, is like, we need to protect the civilians and fight kind of defensively. And the other one is like, let them get distracted while we, hit them kind of in a blind spot. But the actual voice line is just one of the most unhinged lines in the game. It's one of my favorite. I won't say what it is. Hopefully you'll come to it. Alright, so since I'm on a delay, I'm not sure what exactly you're asking about there. Like the voice line, or... again, it is basically like a... I think... What was it he says? Now I kind of want to get it right. Basically says something like, let them wade through blood while we carve out their hearts, or something like that. It's great. Oh, I'll be straight with you, man. I don't remember. My brain doesn't work most of the time when it comes to remembering what I just said. Oh, goodness. Especially if I'm focused on something. But yeah, so I guess... So now I'm kind of running back through what I said. What I was talking about. But yeah, definitely just be, I guess, kind of aware when you get into BioWare games in general that sometimes you'll click something thinking you're going to say a certain set of words, and you just end up with something totally unhinged from what you intended to say. Which can often be really, really funny. Because you'll think, oh, I'm just going to say, hey man, don't bother me, and then you like threaten to murder them. It's great. It's a good time.
Ah, it's impossible! Why would my master assign me a trial that can't
that
be done?
would do it. Yeah, lack of sleep's definitely not good for memory.
What are you carrying on about?
Oh, you startled me. I didn't see you approach. My master says there are valuable materials behind that boulder over there. But get this, the blasted thing can't be moved. My instructions were to go to a platform in the ruins. Meditate and let the Force empower me. But I've meditated till I can't see straight and nothing.
So one thing I like to do too with these characters, especially streaming, is kind of roleplay the character. And with this character, I've kind of made her like, she's kind of headstrong, like her heart's in the right place, but she can kind of come off as a little cocky. Yeah. Exactly. You're just like, oh, that's way off axis from what I intended. It happens. So here, like, this may be like, oh, well, hey, you're not good at this. Or I could end up, like, insulting his bloodline. So I'm going to go with this one in the middle.
Defeat? You're just going to give up?
But again, I think her
What else
character's
am I
going to
supposed
be
to
kind
do?
of that, like...
So I'm gonna get drummed out of the order because I can't move a rock that can't be moved. It's absurd. Hey, what if maybe you could help me? Are you good at this meditation thing?
Without a doubt.
Oh, thank
See,
you.
that's
You're a
a good
lifesaver. So just kneel at
Super
the altar
confident.
nearby. Supposedly, if you find deep inner peace, you'll be able to move the boulder. If you fail, I can tell my master it wasn't just me who couldn't move it.
Ah, yes, I'll be under the bus with you too. Awesome. See, I think in my head here, it's like, you know, I'm just gonna show him that it can in fact be done, and that I am awesome at what I do. Levitate the giant rock. Did I levitate the giant rock? I guess I did. Oh, hey.
You did it! I can't decide if I'm ashamed that I couldn't do it or happy that my mission is complete. There was supposed to be something important behind the boulder.
Yeah. Hey, well, it helps me enjoy it because I've played through all the storylines and they're all really good, but it makes me do things differently, you know. And I think, you know, it can be a little hard sometimes to like RP a character, but ultimately, it gives you another kind of dynamic to work with, and it's great.
Then we should continue the search.
But...
Iniki.
Master Quilljake, why are you here?
Wana wada blota wijawa. O wamawanka matuske. Manchi toti puna puna. Kabuk nuni snemo. Kunta chuta. Kasuyali kulira. Kanki kum.
But, Master, it's not my fault. I didn't ask for help. I tried to decline.
No, he asked for it. Oh yeah,
That is simply
Ithorians
not
are
true,
huge.
Master Quilljake.
Kunamo. Uban
They're
chone
cool.
alipa. Eastin koto. Wonki atacha kapa donka.
They're actually,
Jisa
I think they're
bicha.
one of my favorite aliens in Star
Dogi
Wars.
kumpa. Jiji no liamake chisa.
You. It's all your fault. You ruined my chances.
Kunamo. Uban chone alipa. Eastin koto.
Never says remove boulder to me.
I had the clarity to commune with the Force. What do you think of that?
Ki
See,
batu batu.
that was
Manchi toti puna puna.
properly
Kabuk
restrained
nuni
statement.
snemo. O kakiza spida perupa. Kadwa shiniko higa danulia.
I'm tremendously honored.
Dusta barawanga.
Well,
Nesubu
Ithorians for
kumopomo.
one.
Yes, Master.
In no particular
Mache.
order.
Churon chica chiliska
That
chanana.
is an interesting question. And it also depends on like what sources you're using for canon. If you go basically just off of Star Wars: The Old Republic and then like the movies and series, I definitely like the Sith species. They're really cool. Red skin, generally they're pretty force sensitive. And they end up kind of, I think they end up kind of dying out by the movies, so I never really see them, except for a species of modified Sith that are called Masasi, that are basically, they're basically just particularly nasty, like, sort of thrall race type deal. It's not something I explain or understand that well. Technically, droids are not a species, but I think the way droids work in Star Wars is pretty neat. Because they're sapient. They are just this side of general AI. So instead of say, hard to explain and focus. So, yeah, droids are really cool. They come in a lot of varied types. Obviously, there are some droids that are, like, just basically a cell phone with legs. But then you get some droids, like assassin droids, protocol droids. A lot of them are, again, they're what you would call sapient. They're just as able to think as you or I are. I'm going to go ahead and move the quick travel into my bar here. So I think that's pretty interesting. I think they raise a lot of very interesting ethical questions with Star Wars and the Star Wars universe, because they are still owned, traded, bought, sold, all that, despite clearly having some level of emotion, having an understanding of what dying is, having the ability to suffer. Oh, and they are. There's one droid. There's several droids. There's one in the movies you'll come across, and in the series called IG-88, who is an assassin droid, and he is incredibly powerful, incredibly strong.
Jedi, you found my
really don't want to
son.
mess with him.
Thank you. He told me what you did. He's
There's
safe
another one
now.
I'll talk about after this dialogue.
I'm glad his kidnappers with your masters. Is Vio okay? Last I saw, he was leaving the Flesh Raider camp. Vio's scars are healing.
Yeah,
the matriarch will tend to his mind.
Now, I wouldn't say understand
He'll
it like,
be well again.
you know, like a
You have my promise.
philosophical,
Whenever the elders speak
like
about the Jedi,
metaphysical way.
I'll
Like
speak too.
and they
My
probably
son will
don't
speak.
have souls. It's
This
I
is
don't
our
think they have a
thanks.
presence in the Force like living things do, and that's a whole other conversation, talking about the Force and how that all plays in together. So they're not, as far as we can tell, they aren't present within what's called the Force, like the living Force. It's a sort of weird energy field that connects all life in the galaxy. But they do understand what it means to not be anymore. They do seem to have an apprehension of it, an apprehension of being disassembled or damaged or otherwise. Now, that may just be programming.
It was the least I could do. We wish you well, Jedi.
Because
Goodbye,
obviously if you create
and all the
something, you're
best
going
to
to
you.
program it to not want to be destroyed. But we see this in battle droids and stuff that are expendable, that are basically meant to be cannon fodder. If you watch Clone Wars or anything from like the prequel trilogy, yes, that's actually the way it's explained. Is basically it's Qui-Gon Jinn in the first prequel movie explains it, and he explains it as something that lives in all things and surrounds all things. I think Obi-Wan explains it basically the same way in A New Hope. And there's a little controversy when they
Master
also
Orcus responded
tied
to your
in some,
distress
like,
call.
cellular
I was to meet him
organisms to
here.
it.
What happened? Nothing. We didn't send
called
any distress
midichlorians.
calls. Things have been quiet since you left. I haven't seen or spoken to Master Orcus.
But essentially it is an energy field, and when you die, you kind of are consumed back into it. Or like your soul, or whatever is, or spirit, however you want to call it, is consumed back into it.
Master Orcus should have gotten here ahead of me. I'm sure it's a misunderstanding.
There
Your
are
master
some
will
people
turn
who
up.
get around that.
Don't worry.
A couple of very
As long as
powerful
we're
Jedi,
together,
some Sith.
everything will
do.
be all right.
But oh no.
Stop it.
See,
What are you doing?
Species. I like Twi'leks.
Matriarch,
okay.
step
They're
aside.
interesting.
Handing over the girl's master wasn't enough. This Padawan
That's
has to
what these
die.
are, if you didn't know.
I told you to leave my sister alone. That was the pact.
Bengilmore refused your terms. This is to save our people.
You lied to my face. How could you do that? I was trying to save you. The Jedi are doomed, but you'd be safe if you stayed here.
Bengilmore came to me, said he'd end the Flesh Raider attacks if we gave him your master.
He asked us to kill you too. But I said no. I told him we'd keep you here. You can't do this, Morant. She's my family.
Yeah.
If we don't do what we're told, Bengal Moore will kill us all.
Yeah, Star Wars has a lot of,
You don't want to hurt anyone.
Oh, there we go.
You want to leave here peacefully.
Star Wars has a lot of really interesting stuff in it.
I don't want to
And don't get me wrong, there's...
We should leave here peacefully.
Yes,
And
better
this
that
is-
way.
this is
Here,
a controversial
perhaps you can use
statement
these.
in of
We
itself.
don't need them.
Some of the extended universe stuff is maybe a little funky, but for
This
the
was
most
all
part,
a terrible mistake.
they've done a
wasn't
great
supposed
job
to be
building
like this.
a very like
I was going to
diverse
save
universe,
you.
very interesting,
Save us
deep
all.
world to get into.
The harder you hold on to me, the more you lose control. I've lost so much. And I couldn't lose you too. Bengal Moore took Orgus to someplace called the Forge.
It also helps
Reactivate your
explore a lot
droid.
of
It might know where to
real-world
find them.
philosophies.
I would have died before I let anyone hurt my sister. I swear it. I don't condone what you've done, but I understand. You're more forgiving than any sister I could have hoped for. Tell me what I can do to make this right. Learn from this mistake. Spend your life atoning for what you've done. I won't waste this chance. That's a promise.
A lot of dialogue.
My people should hear what's happened. It's best if I tell them. I hope you find your master.
So, I guess following up with that, like Jedi, for example, have a lot of Tao and a lot of Buddhism in their philosophy. You can even argue there's some Christian tenets in there, but they're not tenets that are exclusive to Christianity. Right.
Bengal Moore took my master someplace
allows
called
you
the Forge.
really,
Do you know where that is?
I guess, dig into taking some of those beliefs, like non-attachment to mindfulness, to their extreme.
I am A4PO, Jedi Archivist. How may I help you?
Transmit everything you know about the Forge to my droid T7.
That area is considered highly dangerous. May I inquire why you need this data?
Flesh Raiders captured Master Orgus and took him there.
By the stars, what perfectly awful timing. The Temple Masters are all indisposed fighting Flesh Raiders. I will alert them immediately, but they may be unable to assist you. Transmitting data now.
Oh, T7. Astromech droids are awesome. That's what T7 is. Astromech droids are basically little personal computers in a lot of ways, but they can also do a lot to help pilot starships. They have the processing power to calculate hyperspace jumps. They know a lot, typically, about engineering and that sort of thing. So they're really, really useful little guys. Outfitter companion. There we are. Tails. Boop. There we go. And yeah, the conversation too, like going back to that, like, it's very easy. Yeah. Oh yeah, they couldn't crew an entire ship by themselves necessarily, but they can absolutely like fly fighters and stuff without too much guidance, which is impressive. Now granted, sometimes that happens because it's a sort of just a special
You are
droid,
cleared for the
right?
following travel routes.
R2-D2, the one everybody knows from the movies, right? He actually is a decent fighter pilot, oddly enough. Like, not a super creative fighter pilot, and not quite capable of doing a lot of the stuff that you would need to do to be combat effective, but very good at evasion and getting from place to place, so kind of works out. Yeah.
Rotten, procreating beasts. Padawans will start dying if this keeps up. Oh, Padawan.
That's not a very
At least
Jedi
you made it
approach.
through. The Horrents are everywhere lately. Hulking, razor-mawed monsters with nasty dispositions. They're multiplying fast and growing bolder. There's some in the water since the Flesh Raiders came. I could use help getting things under control.
The situation seems pretty serious.
Not sure how much longer we can keep this camp from being overrun. Eliminating a Horinth matriarch and patriarch will slow the beast's population explosion. But they're tough to find, and even tougher to kill. The matriarchs and patriarchs tend to gravitate in different clearings. You'll have to hunt them down separately, if you're willing to help.
You can count on me.
Relieved to hear it. While you're out there, removing any of the beast's eggs you spot would help too. It's up to you. Hope you fare well. I'll be here holding down the camp.
But, with conversations and stuff, yeah, like, you can have a conversation that is really, like, chill and kind of wholesome, just based on the decisions you make, and then, say you make another run, and it's just, like, the most knockdown, drag-out argument that you could possibly ask for. Well, sometimes it's not exactly the case. There are some that are a little bit more straightforward. What do I need to... Oh, I can't zoom out any further. That's a problem. Okay, I see. I don't remember doing this quest. Ever. Oh yeah. Well, I think too, what's nice is it doesn't force you to engage with it. You know what I mean? Like you can pick up a story from Star Wars. That's a good question. More than I should, probably. I've got 192 hours on the Steam version of this, but I've been playing off and on since it came out in 2000 and I want to say 2008, 2009. So a lot. I'd say I probably have closer to 600 or 700 hours, which isn't as much as I have in stuff like Arma or Eve, but it's definitely a lot. What was I going to say there? But yeah, no, with Star Wars in general, like I guess the moral conversations and like other kind of political conversations you could have with it or about it are definitely present. I'm trying to do something that I don't think I'm meant to do over here. But you also, like, with a few exceptions, you can typically kind of just unplug from that if you want to, too, and just enjoy Star Wars, you know, enjoy some cool lightsaber fights and space battles and, you know, good old hero's journey type stuff, which most of the time, if I'm just like running something in the background, that's what I'm looking for. You know, so you get a little bit of, I guess a little bit of either. And that's one thing, especially past few years, without getting into stuff, it's very hard to ignore political messages and ethical messages and stuff, and that can be kind of exhausting, honestly. Exactly. Like, you know, even when I agree with it, that's the wild thing is like, even if I like watch something and I'm like, oh, like, you know, they come along and they say the sky is blue, I'll be like, yes, the sky is blue, but you don't have to, you know, push that in my face. Like I'd rather just lightsaber go burr, you know, kind of things. That's a big thing with Star Trek. Kind of does it too. It's a little differently because it's. You know, a lot of the, at least back in the day, a lot of the moral lessons were very, well, to be fair, a lot of the moral lessons back then were not as obvious to people as they are now, but it was still very general stuff that you could kind of just, like, it wasn't so in your face about it that you couldn't just watch the cool space show. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. It's like, obviously, if you want to have an intriguing world with an intriguing plot, you need to talk about relatable issues and things that people can actually sink their teeth into. But you don't have to do that by actually making an episode about political problem of the day, right? Or, you know, you can do that by really, really veiling it.
The Hornth matriarchs and patriarchs make a distinctive howl when they mate and when they die. Heard it echoing throughout the ruins.
I don't think
Mark
this
fewer
guy's
of the beasts
totally
bounding through the area already.
Jedi.
You have my gratitude.
Their nests were everywhere. Were being the operative word.
It's prospects like you that make me so proud to serve. Be well.
Well, I think too, and this is something I've noticed, getting a little bit into that, is even if you're on quote unquote the right side of one group or the other, if you're not on that side in the right way, you're still kind of somehow in the wrong, and seeing that unfold it gets very difficult to deal with. But like I said, like a lot of the time I try and just kind of let that be in the background, you know, because it's so hard to avoid. Now I've been off of social media for I've been off stuff like TikTok for I think a year and a half now, almost. I think I stopped in, well, no, maybe not a year and a half, a little close to a year. I stopped before Lent last year. Yeah, exactly. It's like you don't have to immediately turn the series into, like, I don't know, something about ending the Federal Reserve or whatever, yeah, some random political statement. But which it would be kind of funny to see that in a television show. But yeah, it really. You can make it, like you said, some sort of background little sort of note you could kind of take away from the way it goes. And I often think, too, that if you try and make something too much about a current event, it can take away from the show. I've seen that, definitely seen that in recent Star Trek. Like, where it's a little bit too, like, oh, this is obviously talking about this issue. Heck, the recent Star Wars movies. There are some quotes in there that are obviously just political statements. And it's like, okay, that was shoehorned in. Like, please no. And again, like, regardless of where you sit on something, like, being over the head with it is never pleasant. I think a show that really does all of these things well, it does most of these things really well, is Battlestar Galactica. It's a really great science fiction series from 2004. If you get the chance to watch it, and you want something that honestly runs on the side of grimdark science fiction, not quite to the not as far as, like, say, Warhammer 40k does, but definitely is very unafraid of making the painful decision. Galactica does that in spades, and it often, because of the subject matter that it examines, it has to talk about some things that are an issue right now. And were an issue then too. But it does it in a way that's not like, oh, this is the right decision and we have to make the right decision. And it's not, how could anyone ever think this is the right way to go? Like, it lays both sides out pretty clearly. And sure, there are some sides that are just objectionable. But it will always let you, especially as I've gotten older. Now, when I was younger, it's real easy when you're younger to see one side is right, one side is wrong, even if the other side makes a convincing argument. And as I get older, I don't change my beliefs very easily, but it's a lot easier for me to see the other side and go, okay, actually, I can get how you think that way. And to sort of see, oh, this show isn't just feeding me bad guy, good guy. It's giving me two sides. The Black is a fantastic series. Great cast too. And one of my favorite composers for the soundtrack, Bear McCreary. He does stuff all over the place. I think he's done a little work on some of the. I think he's done some work on some of the Marvel movies, which I haven't really seen any of because I live under a rock, and because honestly they're just a little corporate for me, especially the more recent ones. But he also did Outlander, their soundtrack. He does a lot of like Celtic stuff. He's very good at it. Oh, let's see here. I think I'm going... No, that's for somebody else. You are not missing out there, bud. I downloaded it to support a friend of mine. They had started doing TikTok, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll make sure you got at least one upvote or whatever it was. And the insidious thing about TikTok is the more you interact with anything, the more of it you get. So you get that click button, get reward. That is so prevalent these days with social media or really everywhere. And so, it starts out, you're like, oh, well, I'm just, I'm going to watch my friends thing. Oh, there's another cool thing. Like, and then they're like, hey, by the way, I know you like cats, have some cats. Which, thank you, yes, please. And all of a sudden, like, it's just part of my routine to spend time on TikTok. And that isn't good, especially when you're going back to school and have, like, other responsibilities. So eventually I just got to the point where I'm like, okay, this isn't helping my brain. It's not helping me cope. And I ended up getting rid of TikTok, then I got rid of Facebook, and I still have an Instagram. I don't have it on my phone, though. I actually just have it on my... Kinda. There's... I think they took a work... you know, they took the works of people like B.F. Skinner and played them out really, really far. Because it's so easy to just condition people. You'd think that as complex as our brains are, it'd be really hard to get us to just do whatever thing. But the problem is when you actually understand what motivates people, it's not. And I think too, you know, not to get into like the whole boomerific, like, oh, they're just programming people to be ADHD. Like, it kind of are. They're rewarding the same kind of behavior patterns that people with ADHD have in people who are otherwise neurotypical. And so it's like, oh, well, now we have a generation of people who really have trouble focusing. And heck, we have my generation, you know, even millennials, because we kind of got in on this as well. Like, it just makes it harder. Yeah. No, it's precisely what it is, because it's, so, ADHD, you may know this, may not, ADHD, while it's called an attention deficit hyperdisorder, or hyperactivity disorder, it's not really a deficit of attention. It's a disability from managing attention, right? So keeping your priorities straight is very difficult for someone with ADHD. But it's not hard for them to pay attention to things. And that too. Less standing for themselves, more standing for whatever the social media influencer of the month is standing for. Because, let's say this, like, I'm just going to make a political party up. Let's say that I am a hardline walrus partier, right? Big into the walrus party. Now, I'm probably going to see a lot of stuff from the Walrus Party and that political perspective, but eventually, because I'm interacting with so much political stuff, I'm also going to start getting inundated with the Shrimp Party and the Trout Party, and those are going to, you know, start kind of forcing their way in. And I actually got to the point where I was seeing more stuff from the other side than I was seeing of my own. And I don't know if that's because I kind of got bored of seeing my own thoughts parroted back at me, or because, you know, and this is a little bit conspiratorial, or because it just so happened that my thoughts weren't the thoughts that Tencent, I think, whoever owns TikTok, wants people to have. Though I think, here's a rabbit hole. Obviously, TikTok is owned by a Chinese company. Personally, if you want my 2 cents on it, I figure that TikTok is designed not necessarily to brainwash anybody into one direction or the other, but rather to kind of disable someone, or disable a lot of someone, right? And basically make wherever it takes off kind of ineffective at running itself. Because if I remember correctly, TikTok is pretty heavily regulated in China. The country where it comes from doesn't even really trust it. And it's... I mean, heck, their corporations are owned by the government. Like... But that's, again, I feel like that's getting into some, like, tinfoil territory. I don't think it's that far-fetched because we're talking about the CCP here, but... Anyway, my social credit's probably in the dirt, so it's fine. The fact that they have that is ridiculous. But I think too, that's another problem with social media, is it gets us used to this idea of valuing and devaluing people based on what value they provide to us. Don't get me wrong, that's natural. I am going to value someone who is useful to me or otherwise brings joy and like enrichment to my life more than I am someone who doesn't do anything at all, or even someone who, you know, takes away. Yeah, it's again, it's I think more of a, you know, just talking about MK Ultra here, it's kind of a psyop. Like, it's a little bit of a psyop. And I don't know if that was the initial intention of it, but it was definitely the side effect that's been
I
capitalized
sensed you
on.
coming. Your fear betrayed you.
Let this dialogue go, so
You're
we'll talk a little
weak.
bit more about it.
Like my old master. You will fall with him.
You're not hurting anyone else, Bengal. It's over.
No, the will of the Force guided me here for justice. To restore what the Jedi lost. You weren't on Coruscant. You never saw our greatest cut down or watched the temple burn. I escaped that
Like the
destruction
Novelings,
to
too,
see my
therefore,
own
that's why
master
he is.
surrender to the Sith. They exterminated us, and he gave up.
Right. And I feel like social media almost, it doesn't invert that, but it does pervert it. Because
That's why you brought Master Orcus here?
what it
To make him
does
pay?
is it goes,
The weak will be sacrificed here to
You
make
know.
the Forge stronger.
it commodifies a person. It commodifies a person's personality and the effects they have on people. And
The
it forces
Jedi
you to
Order
kind of
must be
commodify yourself
reborn
too.
from
If you want to
ashes.
succeed on social media, you have to start thinking, okay, what do people want? What do people like? What do people look for? How can I be pleasant? And so it rewards people pleasing. And people pleasing, in case you were not aware, which you may be, and you probably picked up what I'm putting down already, but people pleasing is a trauma response. It is not a healthy behavior, like at all. It's one that I know a lot of people who struggle with. But social media rewards it, and it has been shown to absolutely wreck people's mental state. Either it breaks their self-esteem, or it adds to their depression, or it imparts depression on them, especially when the
won.
feel-good starts going away from
Why
it.
has the Force guided me to this defeat? You're stronger than any
insidious thing.
Jedi I've known.
It's useful, but it's
You could redeem the Order and
insidious
destroy the
in
Sith.
a lot of ways.
I understand. You are the weapon I came to forge.
You think I'm destined to defeat the Empire?
I'm certain of it. I have found my purpose, at last. I have spent a lifetime learning the paths to power. That knowledge is now yours. Let me leave Tython and prepare the galaxy for your ascendance. I will deliver the gifts you need to reclaim your destiny.
All right, so this is a good one here. It's a good point to show a character moment. Again, my character's pretty headstrong. She's maybe even a little cocky. She knows that she's special. She knows that she is strong and that she has something that she is meant to do, and she definitely wants to do the most good she can. Obviously, killing him wouldn't fit that. Knocking him out and arresting him fits kind of, because that's the good thing to do. It's the Jedi thing to do. That's you fight the enemy, you take care of the enemy, you do away with the enemy, you bring them to justice. So that's a viable option, but 2, I think, is probably the best option. This guy has just offered to work for us effectively, to help us reach our potential, to do what should be the maximal good, and that is defeat the Empire. Right? So 2, I think, fits the character best, even though it may not be the most Jedi thing to do.
Give me the things I'll need to defeat my enemies, and you can live.
My first gift lies inside the Forge, where Force users created their lightsabers millennia ago. I have learned their forgotten ways, discovered how to create a truly powerful weapon. I will show you. Use my knowledge to make your lightsaber, and the Force will be with you. I must leave, but I will find you when the time is right. Farewell.
Well, T4 is going to be, or T7.
What the Council doesn't know won't hurt it. Hold still. There. How do you feel? You took a hit in the fight, must have short-circuited. But we defeated Bengal Moore.
Alright, well, time to go help there with our buddy Master Orgus.
Padawan, I must have you to thank for being alive.
I fought Bengal Moore, and he fell into the ravine. He's dead.
Force willing, we'll recover the poor man's body and give him a proper funeral. The horrors he witnessed on Coruscant broke him, destroyed the gentle Padawan I trained. You, however, faced a challenge beyond any trial I could assign. There's nothing more I can teach you. All that's left is for you to enter the forge and construct your own lightsaber.
I'm tremendously honored.
There's no substitute for the weapon you create yourself. Normally, we make Padawans gather materials themselves, but you've proven enough. These are all the physical components. The rest will come from your mastery of the Force. I'll return to the Jedi Temple and organize a search party for Bengal's body. Meet me there when you're ready.
Yeah. Now, and there's a tabletop role-playing game that has a whole mechanic for this. You like meditate and like find the materials. And it's a whole thing. It's awesome. I think we go ahead and use Bengal Moore's knowledge. I want to see what this comes out to.
I'll have the power to strike down all my enemies.
Just out of curiosity, can you hear the fan on my PC, or is it quiet? Okay, I am in that case going to play with the volume on my microphone a little bit. Any better? Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, this is not a graphics intensive game at all. And most of the stuff I play is not that intensive, but since I got this computer, it's always been like just either not at all or full bore, and there is no in between. And we're just going to use the one lightsaber, I think. Even though that's a little less DPS, it doesn't matter. It's one lightsaber. It's awesome. Yeah. Exactly. I've fiddled with it. I have broken into all the little settings and stuff and tooled it to the best of my ability, and it's just like, nah. You get to hear the fan. Which makes it a little hard to record, because I don't... Problem is, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And so, streaming, I don't mind so much. It's live. Balance is going to be what balance is. The problem is, though, if I record a video and study it, first off, or edit it, like, first off, I have to hear my own voice, which is, to me, torture. I know my voice is fine, however, I still don't like the sound of it. It always just kind of bothers me. But on top of that, hearing the background noise is... it's just too much. So technically, I'm actually going to grab one of my own lightsabers out of my cartel inventory. Here in a minute. Actually, I can go ahead and do that. All items. We'll go with weapons. Lightsabers. Collected. These are really nice. Oh, I'd have to... That's not that bad, but... That's fine. Alright. Bloop. Bloop. And we're going to go back to our thing. Yeah, I think part of it is because it can be a little uncanny. Because when I listen to myself when I'm speaking, I don't sound like what everybody else hears, right? And I think that's kind of typically how it goes. It's like, you don't expect to sound like that. And I've gotten used to it over time. I also used to do a little bit of music here and there. But it's still... I'm gonna get a color crystal real quick. Not cartel market. Collections. Color crystals. So collected. Oh, that's fun, but I don't want to pay for it. Ah, there we go. Actually, you know, I'm gonna have the... What's that? That's not bad. I feel like that green needs to be really green, otherwise it's just not going to quite show up. Luckily I have infinite of them, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that looks better. More vibrant. I definitely prefer the SWTOR saber on the offhand. That's what I would have done back in Knights of the Old Republic, and that's kind of what you're supposed to do IRL.
All right,
have a lighter,
this is it. You've been tearing through these droids about
offense.
as fast as I can repair them. But we just received the latest combat simulation data from the Republic and combined it with the data we've collected from your earlier fights. It'll be tough, but if you can do this, there'll be nothing more we can throw at you.
Yeah.
You'll be fully qualified to lead Republic troops in battle.
Yes, let's have the Peacekeepers become warriors. That always goes really well. Oh. He's just coming right out. Yeah, there we go. And T3 helped, or T7. I keep calling him T3. Thanks, man. Yeah, I've enjoyed chat.
Unbelievable. To tell the truth, I didn't think it was possible. I think you've more than qualified for the job of leading Republic soldiers in battle. Here's your certification. Congratulations. Amazing.
Our training is slow for a reason.
I don't care. I'm ready for the final trial.
The Flesh Raiders are still a threat, but without Bengal's leadership, they'll be scattered and ill-equipped.
This temple could have been devastated. The entire order is in your debt,
I mean, it's
Padawan.
taken me, I think, 3 hours just to get through the first planet. And there'll be several more before I am done. I don't remember how many off the top of my head. Let's see, there's Tython, then we'll go to Coruscant, then Belmora, Terrace, Tatooine, Nar Shaddaa, I don't want to say Belsavis. A few others after that. With a couple of stops back at other worlds.
The enemy found weaknesses in our security. We have to guard against another Coruscant.
Agreed. And now we have concerns beyond the Flesh Raiders. Recent developments in the Twi'lek settlement demand a response.
Their matriarch betrayed me to Bengal, but she surrendered herself to us for judgment. You're doing, I understand. Good work.
You know the Twi'leks, Padawan. How do you recommend we proceed?
We created instability by refusing to help them. That has to change.
What happened to Master Orgus is almost unforgivable.
But if we do forgive and work with them, it can only improve both our communities. Although Bengal Moore's
It can.
body hasn't
If you're
been found,
only playing a couple
the fact
hours at a time, it
remains,
can take
this
quite a while to
young
get through.
Jedi saved us from his army. I see no reason for her to remain a Padawan.
You can
Your
speed run, but
bravery,
that's
heroism,
not
and
fun.
sacrifice show great depth of character. You represent our best hopes for the future. You arrived on Tython a Padawan, but you leave a Knight of the Republic.
I want to say...
May the Force be with you.
I want to say the fastest I got through, I think, was maybe over the course of a couple of weeks. But I mean, I was playing. That was over one summer, and I think I played pretty much all day, every day for well, maybe not all of that, but for a lot of that. And that was one class. Or one class storyline.
I'm eager to do some good in the galaxy. Send me somewhere I can help out.
And like I
Plenty
said,
of trouble
there are
spots
8,
in the
and then there are
galaxy.
several
We'll
expansions
find one
afterwards.
for you.
And some of them take 8 or so hours. Like there are hours and hours and hours of content for this game.
This little droid and I have been through a lot. We're a great team.
Then I see no reason why you shouldn't stay together.
We're getting a priority signal from Coruscant. It's Master Kiwix.
Master Orgus, everyone. I've discovered a situation requiring further assistance. Our suspicions about Coruscant were correct. The dark presence we have long sensed is strongest here.
What could be worse than a fallen Jedi attacking us?
That's what we need to find out. The security of the entire Republic is at stake.
This situation calls for our very best. Master Orgus, you and your former pupil should join Master Quix on Coruscant.
Come to the Senate Tower as soon as you can. Master Quix, out.
Yeah, all of the base storylines are
No rest for
free,
us, my
and I
friend.
think the first
Complete
couple
any
of
unfinished
expansions, but I
business
don't
you
remember
have and take a
exactly.
shuttle to
I know all the
Coruscant.
base storylines are free for sure.
I'll leave immediately, Master.
I need to wrap up some things before I go. Meet you on
And
Coruscant.
especially if you get in
Farewell.
during a
Force
period
will be
where they've
with
got
you.
like double XP or
Always.
something going on, that can be really, really handy. Because I know XP progresses a little bit more slowly for free accounts, but it's not that bad. And if it's your first time playing, then you probably want to do everything anyway. You'll get to the level you need to be. Like, it's not like you'll get to, the last planet and just be like level 4 or something, right? It's still pretty well balanced. I was going to say something, though. I don't remember what it was. Oh, playing through things. Yeah, there was a game I played a while back, several years ago. I think I was down with some sort of... I was sick. Anyway, but I had a lot of time on my hands, and I went from being very, very bad at this game called Absolver, a subtle fighting game that came out in the 10s. And anyhow, I went from barely knowing how to play to going, what if I played through with all the basic moves and no upgrade gears? And I did. I beat the game in like a couple of hours just with the starting equipment and moves, nothing else. One of my last playthroughs, it was just absolutely hilarious. Got pretty good at PvP in that game. It kind of died after a while. People that made it made Sifu though, which is pretty well known fighting game. It's Slow Clap, I think they're called. Then you have these are real handy, especially if you're a free player. Complimentary experience boost. You get 25% extra XP, and these don't run if you're offline. So if you go offline with one of these going and come back on, you'll still have whatever was left. Okay, yeah. God of War is one I've always meant to get into. I think 3 is the one. I don't know if he's always voiced Kratos, but I know he voiced him in one or two of the more recent games. That's Christopher Judge, and he's one of my favorite actors. I've been meaning to play it pretty much on that alone. Never mind the fact that he's also, or that it's also a really widely liked game. But anywho, let's see what we got going on here. So I'm not used to the Republic fleet. It's the same layout for both, but I think they put the like areas in different spots. Okay. And I think I'm going to go with synth weaving for this one. So synth weaving allows me to make like robes and stuff, which is real handy. well, I could go with Artifice, because Artifice allows me to make dyes, and you can make a lot of money with dyes. Let's see what I need for these. So we need artifacts, crystals. Artifacts going to be archaeology or treasure hunting? Oh, it's gemstones. Okay. And there we go. He'll be back here in a little bit. Now that's actually a good question. Let's read the description real fast. Increase all experience gained to 25% for 3 hours. Cannot be combined with other experience boosts. So no. That said, the game is, again, they are very generous with these. This experience boost here I get for being in a rest area is double XP. Now, I don't know if this combines with the experience boost, but probably not. So let's say I log off for a couple of days and build this up. When I come back, I'm going to get double XP. Let's see. I think this may even combine with double XP weekend XP boosts, but I'm not totally certain on that, so don't hold me to it. I'd say somebody like SWTOR does that. She's a Star Wars Old Republic YouTuber, also does stuff like Guild Wars. And so she talks a lot about how to get the most out of the game without paying. Which I highly recommend. Again, anybody who gets into this, just kind of figuring out how to get the most out of it without spending any money, because then you can get even more out of it when you decide to pay, if you decide to pay. Which I know a lot of people who don't. Oh. That being said, my eyes are starting to get tired. I think I need to take a break. I have a couple of things I need to work on anyway. But I appreciate you hanging out with me. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. I typically stream around the same time. But I am here. Yeah. But yeah, highly recommend checking out this game. It's fun. Yeah. Anyhow, like I said, thanks for hanging out. I think tomorrow night I've got some stuff going on, but I'll probably be streaming again soon over the next few days. So just keep an eye out. Yep. Yeah, you too. Hopefully you get some rest as well.